I'm Magnus Hawthorne, and this is Dungeons by Design, where I answer your important fan mail. Recently, and with our unique partnership with Dapper Hobo Dojo, we have been getting additional feedback as well. So it's been brought to my attention we'll be answering some questions from there as well. So let's get into it. See here. Dear Magnus, who is Magnus Hawthorne? It's an interesting question. I am aware of my mythological status. It's to some degree asking, like, who is Thor? Or who is Wolverine from the X-Men? Not the Team Wolverines, but the Wolverine. Anyways, Magnus Hawthorne is world-class mentor, editor, and friend. Enigma to many, but master to all. That is who Magnus Hawthorne is. Next question. Dear Magnus, how are those boxing lessons going? They're going fine. They're going fine. They're really building up some cardio, and my footwork's improving. Next question. Dear Magnus, what is your favorite mythological monster? It's a very interesting question. When I was a kid, I used to like Cerberus as a dog with 3 heads, and it was interesting. And then it was the Hydra, because it had even more heads. But it appears, now that I've gotten older, number of heads isn't as much of a deciding factor in my mythological choices. Now, earlier I had gotten into a bit of a, we'll say, a kerfluffle with some fans about my video take on werewolves versus vampires. And while werewolves are a strong mythological beast, probably one of my favorites, I am probably going to have to go with cockatrice. It's paralyzing, sometimes it's a paralyzing gaze, sometimes it's a paralyzing beak strike. But I think most of us have a very refined fear of poultry. And so for me, that has manifested as one of my favorite creatures. Chickens. Next question. Dear Magnus, after your long ban from Gen Con, what other conventions have you been attending? There was, I believe, Dragon Con was one I tried to go to, but I guess some ne'er-do-wells had called them in advance. There was another one that I was in several forums I was going to attend to. They also seemed to have gotten advance notice of my arrival and canceled my booth. BronyCon, I'm not welcome there anymore after an incident with a weapon that I'm not responsible for. I did not bring it. Suffice to say that conventions are tricky. There's a lot of rules that aren't obvious when you go to a convention. Apparently there's some high level of standard, some high standard, we'll say, of not having negative conflicts. And to be honest, the narrative of my life is not something I'm willing to let other people edit. So there is conflict there in that. But if there is a convention I am allowed to, I will give you all advance notice, and we shall see if maybe I can do a booth or an AMA. That'd be interesting. Really upset about BronyCon, but that's life. Well, that's all the time we have for today, and I'd like to thank you for dropping by. This has been Magnus Hawthorne, answering your important questions as a mentor, as an editor, and as a friend. Told you not to bring up conventions.